Lesson 3.2 is solving inequalities using addition or subtraction. If you know how to solve equations using addition or subtraction, you know how to solve inequalities using addition or subtraction. You guys know what I mean when I say inequalities? Instead of an equal sign, what do we see?
A minus sign.
No.
Equality sign.
An inequality sign, which is a less than or greater than sign, or less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So I'll try and give you guys some tricks along the way and those type of things. So we're going to work on solving these inequalities, and we've also got to talk about how to graph their responses. So these are some of the things we're going to talk about. Now, first example, n minus 5, and do you know which sign that is? Less than? Okay, this is less than negative 3. Now, I don't know if it helps or not, but if you want to off on the side, feel free to write yourself a note that this is a less than sign. That means a greater than sign is pointing the other way. So if that note right there is helpful in your notes, then put it in, okay? I always want you to know what's what.
Oh, what's that dot right there? Is it just
My arrow?
Yeah.
That's an arrow.
Okay.
Okay. My trick for less than is a less than sign kind of looks like an L. It's kind of like a smushed L. Yeah.
Can we turn that light a little bit?
We can. I just so happen to be standing right here. Does that help some?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can always do that. As long as you're not going to fall asleep.
I did black anyways.
I know, it's not going to affect you, but you look like you're on the right path today, so let's try and keep you there.
I mean, just while I'm in math class.
Okay. That's new, because you were in 2, weren't you? Okay.
Yeah, I got a change earlier.
Okay, so you can focus on this with me then. Does that mean you have a study hall now?
I do.
So no excuses for not doing my math homework.
Oh,
I like this.
Okay.
I like this. Okay.
Wait, the whole reason.
I was going to say, I'm assuming that's fine. Okay.
Wait, so did you get the moon Arnold then? Yeah, 4th hour.
At least you get a study hall.
Okay.
I asked for one and they didn't give me one.
Okay. Okay, guys, let's get back to the focus here. Sorry, sidetracked, as always. So, we're trying to solve this inequality. Now, let me ask you, if this instead said, and I'm just going to write it down here and then I'll erase it, n minus 5 equals negative 3. Do you know how to solve that?
Yeah.
If it's n minus 5,
You just add the.
you add 5, yes? Exact same thing up here. If it's n minus 5, I'm going to add 5. If I add 5 on the left,
Wait, this is gonna be easy. Okay. It's gonna be
we can add 5 on the right.
I see.
Now, minus 5 plus 5.
Can't do that. Wait, can you?
Yeah, well, minus 5 plus 5 is going to cancel. So now I just bring down my n.
So n equals, alright, I'll give you the answer since I'll go over.
I'm the only one participating.
What?
Don't make the rest of my class mad, please.
Yeah.
Now, last chapter, we would have carried down an equal sign. This chapter, carry down whatever sign is given. So in this case, I'm carrying down a less than sign. I don't want to see equal signs, basically.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Okay? And then, negative 3 plus 5
2.
is 2. So, my answer is n less than 2.
Okay, so this next one's.
Hold on. We're not done with this one.
Oh.
Because the other thing we have to practice is graphing these answers. So in order to graph them, I'm going to make a number line. What is a number that has to be on this number line?
5. 2.
The answer of 2. Now, different people teach us different ways. I'm going to say, okay, you have to have the 2 on here. I ask that you put a couple other numbers on. So things like 0 and 1 can go on the left. Things like 3 and 4 can go on the right. You know, just a couple numbers around 2. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just something telling me you know how to count. Now, what does n less than 2 mean? Where are numbers that are less than 2?
1 and 0.
Okay, 1 and 0. Anything to the left. So this is where we're going to shade,
Oh, okay, so this.
and we're going to shade to the left.
Now, I have a question on Math Excel. Will it have a shape in it?
I can't remember if it has you shade it or if it has it as multiple choice.
Okay.
I could see it being either way. Now, one last question. We have to put some kind of circle or dot at 2. It can either be an open circle or it could be a filled in closed circle.
Why is it filled in?
So fun.
Filled in. Filled in.
Okay, I've heard both. Why?
Because I just said it's filled in. That's the letters. Why I know.
Just because. Huh?
It could go either way.
Huh?
It could go either way.
What do you mean? It could go either way.
It could be both.
It can't be both.
But how? How explain?
Why'd you say open?
That's set up because I believe the equals to the next problem is closed.
Okay. So, he's got it. This is an open circle. It's not filled in. And the reason it's not filled in, because it's not equal to. So if you want to make yourself a note, signs like less than and greater than will have open circles. Looks like I'm trying to make a weird smiley face or something. Signs like less than or equal to or greater than or equal to will have filled in circles. Huh?
I remember this now because I remembered it. I just didn't remember that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I remembered that part. I just don't remember like the difference between.
And my goal is to give you guys some tips here. Like, okay, this is how you know which sign is which. This is, write down these kind of notes off to the side here. Okay. So, let's look at this next one. Y plus 12 greater than or equal to negative 1. Okay, if it's y plus 12, and I want to get y by itself, we're going to subtract 12. If I subtract 12 on the left, we subtract 12 on the right.
That's 11.
Nope.
Negative 11?
First of all, 12 minus 12,
That's 0.
0. So I'm left with
Y equals.
y, not equals.
Y.
What sign is this?
Greater than.
Greater than or equal to. When it has a little line to it, we say or equal to. So y greater than or equal to
11. Negative 11.
negative 1 minus 12.
Oh. That's why.
I think you forgot the negative on there.
Yes.
Negative 1 minus 12?
Negative.
Negative
Yeah,
13.
negative 13. Yeah.
I've got the y by myself
Why is that bigger? Why did it?
because you're adding two negatives.
Oh.
You're already at negative 1, and then you go 12 more left, which puts you 13 left.
These
Okay.
desks are weird.
Can you see if mine's right first?
What, on the next one?
No, this one.
Oh, on the graph?
Yeah.
Well, check yourself as we go here. You'll know. What's one number that has to be on this number line?
Negative 13.
Negative 13. My answer has to be here, yes?
Yeah.
Has to. Now, this is the part I figure you guys might mess up. What are numbers around negative 13?
Negative 12.
Negative 12, which side is negative 12 on?
That way.
Right side.
This way.
The right side. And here's the deal. Think, where is 0?
On this side.
Right side.
0 is over here when you're doing negatives, right? So 0, negative 1, negative 10. This is negative 11, negative 12, negative 13, and then negative 14, negative 15. So easy to get our negatives backwards. It really is.
No,
Wait, what?
I don't think so.
Okay. which way
That's cool how you did that.
am I shading?
That way.
This is a greater than sign.
So it's closed.
So it go, hold on, greater than just tells me to go to the right. And another shortcut I can give you, as long as my variable, my letter's on this left side, you're basically shading the direction it points. So this says greater than, so I'm going to shade to the right.
It is closed.
There is an equal to sign. An equal to sign underneath it says
Hello.
it's a filled in circle. So this is a closed filled in circle.
Yeah, I remember doing this at house, but now it's been a minute.
You guys would have done it back around maybe October-ish.
Yeah, like the really beginning of the school year, really.
Okay,
You're gonna add the 8.
disagree.
Okay. Well,
Now,
It's probably just a good idea to keep in mind.
yeah, I know.
okay, I can agree with add 2. Now, I have a recommendation before we add 2. I agree with add 2 being the main step. But here's my recommendation, is I always encourage you, with equations, I was kind of indifferent. With less than, greater than signs, I always encourage you to have the letter on the left. Which means my recommendation is before we get started, take these two sides. I was going to say switch them, rotate, that works. So I'm going to take these two sides. So I'm going to take my D minus 2 and put it on the left. That means I'm going to take my 8 and put it on the right. Now, since I just flipped my sides, what do you think has to happen with that sign in the middle? It has to flip. Okay, this is the only time we're going to be flipping the signs today, is if you flip your sides of the inequality, greater than or equal to becomes less than or equal to.
That's weird.
That is very weird.
Now, how do we solve and get D by itself?
You add the 2.
Now we're ready to add 2. If I add 2 on the left, add 2 on the right.
Alright, I already know the answer. It's D.
Hold on. Minus 2 plus 2
You cancel out.
cancels. There's D.
I know I did. I just recognized what I did wrong.
So you heard what you said wrong then?
Yeah, it's greater than whatever greater than equal whatever supposed to.
This is a sign that points left, so this is the less than or equal to sign.
And it's 10.
8 plus 2 is 10. Okay. Can you graph that?
Possibly. We'll try. So the 10.
I feel like you guys can.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, I know the middle number is going to be 10, but then the other numbers I don't know.
So do me a favor. Count to 10. Or count past 10.
So I go 11. Well,
No, count from the... So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Does that make sense what I did there?
Yeah.
I just counted right up to it. Obviously, if this is like 80 something, you don't want to count all the way up to 80 something, but you just start counting in that area.
But so then it's going to be that way. It's going to be right. It's going to be.
You pointed the right way, but you said the wrong way. This arrow, now, and here's why it's important. I put my D on the left, yes?
Yep.
And because I put my D on the left, I can still shade the direction my arrow points, which means I can shade to the left.
And it's open. No, this can's closed.
Which is it?
Closed.
Closed circle because it is
I can't say the word.
equal to?
Why can't you say the word?
I think he was thinking of a different word, so. Okay. If you had not flipped the sides, so if you ended up with like 10 greater than or equal to D, you have to be careful about your shading. As long as you just say, okay, I have my D on the left. Oh, it's less than, I shade left. It's greater than, I shade right. Okay, one more regular example. Well, I say regular, but it has fractions.
Oh, this should
Oh,
be
no, Jason. You don't have to give up to. Okay. Okay. Still, make sure you stay with me. 3/5 plus D.
Okay, this is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna add the 2 on the top and the bottom says the same, but you're gonna subtract it instead of.
Okay, just talk to me about what we're doing to both sides. Don't get fancy right now. What am I doing to both sides of this equation? If it's 3/5 plus D, how am I getting D by itself?
You're adding 3/5.
But it's already a positive 3/5.
So you subtract 3/5.
So since it's already a positive 3/5, I'm actually going to subtract 3/5. If I subtract 3/5 on the left,
You have to do it to the right.
I'm going to subtract 3/5 on the right.
Okay,
Okay? And keep in mind, I could have switched the D and 3/5 if that made you feel better. But I didn't have to. 3/5 minus 3/5 cancels. Carry the D down. Carry down the greater than sign. And in order to do negative 2/5 minus 3/5, we already have a common denominator.
wait, this is the 5. So 2, negative 2 minus 3.
Right, so what is negative 2 minus 3?
What up? Negative 2 minus 3 gives you negative 5.
Negative 5. So when we do this fraction, negative 2 over 5 minus 3 over 5 is negative 5 over 5. What is negative 5 over 5?
1.
What?
1.
1. So we're actually going to say D is greater than negative 1. Try and stay all the way here.
Okay. Yeah, for one more. Yes, sir.
Hold on, we got a graph.
I have a question. Can I try to set this next one up by myself? After.
It's a word problem. I'll help. I'll just take the lead on the word problem. Okay. Let's worry about the graph.
Okay, one minute.
The graphing is like the easiest part of it.
The hardest part in this one is getting the right numbers on here.
Well, that's gonna be over.
I literally just forgot the negative. I did plus.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna. Okay, so negative 1. What I know about negative 1 is what's right next to negative 1 is,
Negative 2.
well, negative 2 on one side,
0.
but 0 on the other side, right? So here, if I start at 0 and I count up, it's 0, 1. If I start at 0 and count down, it's 0, negative 1, negative 2,
Negative 3.
negative 3.
Now it's going to be open and it's going to be shaded to the right.
And I can go with that. Open and shaded to the right. It's not equal to, so we use the open circle. It's greater than. It's D greater than, so we're shading to the right. Okay, so this is coming back to us.
Yeah.
We remember some of the basics, it seems like.
Is this after a while? It's like, I don't know why some teachers, but they think that we should remember this. I mean, it's from like the beginning of the school year though.
Technically, you're supposed to remember it.
August, October is like.
This is a crazy thought. You're supposed to remember what you learned in math, like back in elementary.
Well, I'm dumb and I don't remember stuff, so.
Sometimes it's how hard we work at it, though,
Is that
too.
really what they want us to do? Is remember stuff from elementary?
Yeah.
Well, you were supposed to have learned your multiplication tables in elementary.
Well, Tiffany didn't teach.
You were supposed to learn how to, some basic addition facts. There's things that you're supposed to learn to retain.
Well, Tiffany didn't teach us.
Wait, they did.
Oh.
Okay, word problem. Here we go.
Whoa!
Step 1 in a word problem in my classroom.
Read it.
Read it. Only been in here 9 weeks and he knows it. Okay, step 1 is read it. A club has a goal to sell at least 25 plants for a fundraiser. Club members sell 8 plants on Wednesday and 9 plants on Thursday. What are the possible number of plants they can sell on Friday to meet their goal.
2.
What?
Now, okay, listen. Okay, so I read the problem. Let me do the problem, please.
I'm sorry.
Let's go back and reread it and pick up the information we can. A club has a goal to sell at least, oops, let me try and get at least in there, at least 25 plants for a fundraiser. Now, that's like our total. That's like what our inequalities would say equal to. But what does at least mean? Is that less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to? If I have, think with me, if I have at least $25 in my pocket, what does that logically mean to you? If I have at least $25 in my pocket?
You only have $25 to spend.
No.
Well,
If I have at least $25, if I have at least $25, I have 25 or more. So what is the sign for 25 or more?
You got triangle thing and then the underline thing.
Less than or greater than?
Less than.
If it's 25 or more, how about greater than or equal to?
That's what I meant.
Okay. So since it says at least, we're saying greater than or equal to. Now, club members sell 8 plants on Wednesday, 9 plants on Thursday, and we want to know how many they could sell on Friday.
To meet their goal.
Now, can you see where we're going with this? 8 on Wednesday, 9 on Thursday, so many on Friday to meet their goal of greater than or equal to 25. What can I write out here? Think about the math. What are we doing? We're going to do, okay, to write down inequality, what do you have to do with Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday?
Add.
You're going to have to add them, right? Because Wednesday's number of 8 plus Thursday's number of 9 plus, what's Friday's number? What do I use for Friday's number?
X.
An F, an X. Exactly. I don't care what letter you use.
Yeah,
Okay.
X is-
I went with X with default, but I get it. F for Friday makes perfectly good sense too. Here's your equation to solve, guys. Clean up the left. What is 8 plus 9? 17 plus X
Subtract it.
greater than or equal to 25. If it's 17 plus X, I'm going to subtract the 17. I have X. Carry down that greater than or equal to 25 minus 17.
Got it. 7 equals 8.
8.
But you're not. Hey, over here done.
You know, after this problem and 8 plus 9, him having to use a calculator, I see what I may remember from elementary, stuff like that.
You guys worked on it, but it's a matter of remembering it.
Okay, what's the problem?
Okay, now focus. At this point, I encourage you guys to use a calculator if that's what you need. And that's what I always say.
I'm not saying that it's wrong, but
Okay, now, on this, did we answer what are the possible number of plants they can sell on Friday to meet their goal?
Yeah.
What does this say? X greater than or equal to 8, so that's 8 or
More.
more. Okay. You have a little bit of work time. Use it. It's lesson 3.2 in Math Excel.